All right, well, there it is. Ange Postecoglou is heading to Tottenham Hotspur, the first Australian manager in history to manage in the Premier League, let alone a Big Six club. That's if you want to classify Spurs as Big Six, but whatever you want to do, you can do. I mean, Ange, this is a massive achievement. I'm not the fondest of Ange. I will back him all the way, and I'll definitely have a soft spot for Spurs for as long as he's the manager there. Harry Kewell was in his backroom staff at Celtic. I assume he'll take him over. He was quite vital. So I'll have a soft spot for Spurs, and I want to see Ange do well. But I can't say I have the fondest memories of him. A week before the 2018 World Cup. He resigned as Australia's national team coach, leaving us in an absolute pickle for the World Cup after talking up our really boring football that we were playing for years prior. So he does have a tendency to play boring football at times, and I think that's something people are going to be prepared for. When the panic sets in, Ange parks the bus. He does it, and he does it without without anything stopping him. He does do it. A lot of the time, like at Celtic and at Brisbane Roar and Melbourne Victory, he played some very, very modern attacking football that won his team's titles after titles, even in Japan at Yokohama. So he's got a tendency to do both. He's very vocal in the press. He's one of those sorts of managers, and he does really get a hold of the dressing room, and he makes his players love him, but he makes his players work hard. So, yeah, I will support Ange, although I don't have the best feelings towards him. It's an Aussie at a Big Six club. His first game as Tottenham manager I will be at. It's going to be at Optus Stadium in Perth, where Tottenham play West Ham. So, yeah, that'll be really exciting. But yeah, this is just so big for Australian football. The amount of press that Australian football has received over the past few days, through ESPN, Bleacher Report, Sky News, Fabrizio Romano, Samuel Luckhurst, just all the top journalists around the world. Some Italian outlets have been reporting it. Pretty much everyone in the world, because it's a big job. It's the Spurs job, and it's just been shining a light on what Australian football can bring. And I'm sure it'll be even more. Spurs heading down to Australia for the pre-season. They've got an Australian manager. They'll probably get some Australian backroom staff from Celtic that Ange had with him. So, yeah, it's going to be a real Australian vibe around Spurs. They could attract quite a few new Premier League fans, if you will. Now, the big question, is Postecoglou the man to guide Spurs to trophies? He very well could be, but it's no easy feat, and the board must back him and the fans must back him. Spurs haven't won a trophy in God knows how long. But Ange wins a trophy anywhere he goes. Will he at Spurs, though? Is Spurs too much? He needs a complete, squad overhaul. The squad isn't good enough to be competing for top four. Spurs need top four, and if they can win a League Cup or something, that would be a real success for them. If we take a look at their lineup for their last game of the season against Leeds, where they won 4-1, it's not good enough. Fraser Forster in goal. Lloris is gone. He's already announced that, so they do need a new goalkeeper. Davies, Lenglet, Sanchez, and Emerson as the back four. Again, it's just not really up to scratch. Lenglet and Sanchez very, very prone to conceding goals. And Romero, even after that World Cup, was not in great form whatsoever. And we all know Emerson's weaknesses. He's a bit like an eBay Trent Alexander-Arnold, if you will. The midfield is Skip and Basuma. I actually really like both those players at their best, but they need some depth in those areas. Daniel Levy must be prepared to spend for Spurs, and on those wings, Porro sort of played that wing role, but he tracks back really, really well, and he scores a goal. Pedro Porro is that one man that Spurs fans were backing all the way. Son had a poor season. Harry Kane looks on the way out, and Dejan Kulusevski, obviously at his best, is fantastic, but again, a down season like a lot of that Spurs squad. So the depth isn't there either. They had Lucas Moura come off the bench in that game, and he scored, but he's gone. Richarlison, no league goals all season. There's concerns about the Spurs squad depth, and with no European football, it will help Ange manage the load, but how far will that take him? I'm not sure. It's a really, really big job to be taking over. The Tottenham club announcement that they made over this, Daniel Levy, the chairman of Tottenham Hotspur, said Ange brings a positive mentality and a fast attacking style of play. As I said, wherever he goes, he wins, and that is the style of football he brings with him. But over those last few years, of when he was coaching the Socceroos. It got a little bit. The style of play was hard to watch, and we were scraping 1-0 wins past Oman and stuff like that. So, yeah, Spurs fans just got to be prepared that he has those tendencies. But for the most part, he's a very modern football manager. And I saw someone say he's if Big Sam and Pep had a baby. And to be honest, with the looks and the tactics, it's probably right. He's got the Pep tactics and he's got the Pep beard and the Allardyce physique and face shape, if you will. Daniel Levy also said he has a strong track record of developing players and an understanding of the importance of the link from the academy, everything that is important to our clubs. Yeah, Ange has a really good track record of developing young players, as Levy just said there. He's provided multiple examples through Brisbane Roar and Melbourne Victory, and at South Melbourne even in his younger coaching career. So, yeah, as it says here, his achievements have included winning the National Soccer League, the NSL, with South Melbourne twice and the Oceania Club Championship. He left the Australian national under-17s and under-20s before moving on to managing the A-League, winning the Premiership in 2011 and the Championship Grand Finals in 2011 and 12 with the Brisbane Roar, and he became the first coach to win consecutive A-League Championship titles. He then became, the Socceroos manager for 5 years, took us to the 2014 World Cup. We won that famous 2015 Asian Cup, and we secured qualification for the 2018 World Cup, which that entire pathway was just really hard to watch, to be honest. He then moved on to Japan, to Yokohama F. Marinos, and he was very quickly loved by the fans, moved on to a bigger job at Celtic, again loved by the fans, and he won everything wherever he went. He won a major trophy wherever he went. And this is the exact mentality that Spurs need coming into their club. So, is Ange the man? We will see, and I think he very well may be. But it's just so good to have an Australian. This could even just be a stepping stone for Ange if he can get to an even bigger job. But it's an unbelievable appointment for an Australian, and such a good thing to put Australian football on the map. Ange Postecoglou, Australian and manager of a Big Six club. That's if you count Tottenham as Big Six. They are still a small club. Hope you all enjoyed that, and wish Ange all the best, and we'll definitely have a soft spot for Spurs this season. Let me know your thoughts on it down below, and I'll be there to watch his first game against West Ham in Perth.